With the 11th pick in the 2011 NBA Draft, the Golden State Warriors select Klay Thompson from Washington State University.
To the people, Klay.
Get the New Jersey. Get the New Jersey.
He's still the best player of all time, baby.
The Golden State Warriors of the 2010s, one of the greatest eras in basketball history. A franchise fitted with a flawless system, filled with fast-paced, open space, constant passing and movement, jump shooting, small ball style of play. With a once-in-a-lifetime personnel to do something that's an extremely difficult thing and rare thing to do in a sport. Break and revolutionize the game, gain major transformative success, and affect the entire mindset of generations dedicated to the sport, breaking traditional stereotypes about winning in the sport. Led by the greatest shooter ever, period, the second most talented snake ever behind the Black Mamba, and the so-called greatest defender ever, and one of the best coaches in NBA history, this squad went to 5 straight finals and won 3 chips, establishing themselves as one of the most dominant and unique teams in NBA history. It solidified legacies and greatness of many, or that we thought. Well, there is a player who I did not mention that despite his greatness being fulfilled and having an important key piece to this building this dynasty, has still found a way to be disrespected by whoever in the sport. One of the most gifted jump shooters ever to grace the game, forming one of the greatest and arguably the most successful backcourt in the history of the game with the GOAT shooter, an underrated two-way star who is a prolific threat with his shot and attempt to guard the opposing team's best perimeter player, an underrated clutch player, and one of the best sidekicks in NBA history. Introducing Klay Alexander Thompson, known to you guys as Klay Thompson, the laid-back, talented second or third star to the Golden Dynasty. Drafted in 2011 with the 11th pick, he quickly showed strides and flashes of being one of the best 2 guards in the league if surrounded in the right system gifted to the strengths. You want to talk about one of the most smooth, pure, fundamentally sound, seemingly almost perfect, beautiful form that makes the perfect backspin rotation. Does not even need to take a dribble to get set. I don't think you're going to find a better example than Klay. When I tell you he could shoot, boy, he could shoot the lights out. And when he is hot, good luck. Along with the fact that he is still dedicated to limiting opposing team's best perimeter player defensively, it just expands on his impact and individual greatness. He has created memorable moments that will always be ingrained in the history of the game. The 37-point quarter against the Kings, scoring 60 against the Pacers with only 11 dribbles in 29 minutes. NBA record 14 threes against the Bulls, and more to be mentioned later. His greatness is undeniable, and his imprint on the game should not be questioned. But for some reason, he was left off the list. Why is that? In terms of the active players on the list, he should have been a lock. He has everything for it. I say he was left off the list by voters because due to the circumstances of being the second or third best player on the team, he isn't decorated as much as his contemporaries who are on the list when it comes to individual accolades. And I also deeply believe that due to the injuries that has kept him out these past 2 seasons, has ruined his opportunity to show more of his individual greatness, as most in the basketball world has this kind of mindset, which is, what have you done for me lately? But there's no legit excuse. He should have been on the list. Klay, along with his backcourt mate, has shown how much fun it is and how crucial it is mentally to have a jump shot and to be a great shooter. In important moments in the game, as a shooter, you are just as confident as your shot. And with his shooting superiority, Klay has a shooting confidence with a dog win at all costs mentality that makes him a constant offensive threat to catch fire, put his team up huge, or make a major comeback after being down by a huge deficit to win a game, making him one of the most underrated clutch performers the game has ever seen. As in important moments in games that extremely mattered and were decisive, he rose up to the occasion. Remember how I said more moments to be mentioned? Well, 2018 Western Conference Finals. Down 2-3 in the series, their dynasty on the line. Klay scores 35 to help beat the Rockets to keep their season alive as they tie up the series that they will eventually go on to win. Next year, conference semis, facing the Rockets once again, while the Most remember the GOAT shooter selling his soul to the devil to go berserk in the second half to win the series. People don't often talk about Klay scoring 27, hitting big buckets in the half to win that series. Then in the finals against Toronto, down 2-3, Klay catches the hot hand that whole game to score 30, single-handedly nearly leading the team to victory until the devastating ACL injury stopped us from witnessing greatness, altering the course of history. Speaking of altering history, this is Klay's iconic moment. 2016 conference finals against the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Warriors, after being down 3-1 in the series, had won a crucial Game 5 to keep their legendary 73-9 season alive. And they had to steal a game on the road in the extremely packed, highly loud Chesapeake Arena to tie the series against a great team that looks to make history against a now historic team. Legacy on the line, and saying that he delivered will be an understatement. 41 points, then playoff record 11 threes. Crucial big shots down the stretch in the last half to steal the road game and tie the series up at 3 apiece that they will go on to win. If you haven't caught on to the pattern yet, all the legendary games I just mentioned happened in the 6th game of the series, garnering him the legendary nickname, Game 6 Klay, one of the most dangerous threats in the history of the sport. To finish off, Klay's a legend that should have been on the list. One of the greatest, most purely gifted shooters to ever touch the hardwood. Talented two-way star who is always willing to play his role above and beyond expectation. A clutch talent who time and time again rose to the occasion for his team in needed times. And entertained us with graceful shooting performances that has left us with memorable moments and in all to look back and enjoy within the sport's history. A 5-time All-Star, a 2-time All-NBA, an All-D player, and more importantly, a freaking winner. I could go on and on, but it's up to you. Does he have enough of a case to be on the list?